Imagine you're a young woman. You've had crushes on boys in your lifetime, but you're coming to terms with the fact that you've had crushes on girls too. Because of the culture you grew up in, you didn't necessarily see this right away, but you're starting to realize that you're bisexual. While you do this, you're watching Sherlock, and every time that someone insinuates that John Watson and Sherlock Holmes are in love, and John angrily reminds them that he is not gay, a little part of you says, so what? Online, you find other people who have the same reaction. Just because someone is not gay doesn't mean they have to be straight. And they know this because they're like you. These are other people who are coming to terms with their bisexuality, partly through an engagement with their favorite shows. And it's a lot more fun talking to them about Sherlock, because they get it. So here's my theory. What you're doing is immersing yourself in what I call an intimate fandom. You find a small group of like-minded fans and you follow each other on a social network like Tumblr. You write stories and you make art for each other, and you all agree that certain things are true, even if you don't have the power to get your version of those stories on TV. Some people do have that power, though. People like Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, who write Sherlock, have jobs and identities that are respected. They are white men who get paid to make great television. So to some extent, they get to decide what stories mean. They get to say who John and Sherlock are, even though, like us, they didn't create these characters. They do, however, get to write these characters for a public fandom. And by looking at how fans talk to each other online, I've been able to describe the difference between an intimate and a public fandom. A public fandom is a massive group of fans, and they tend to have ideals in line with the dominant culture. So in North America, a public fandom assumes that the author's word is law, that a character is straight until proven otherwise, and that if you want to prove otherwise, well, you need to cite your evidence like you're a literary scholar. And since Moffat and Gatiss have decided that when John says he is not gay, what he means is that he's straight, that's the truth. But John still feels bisexual to you, to me. He feels straight to Moffat, but Moffat gets awards and we get called delusional. So rather than spend our time in a public fandom where we're constantly told that we're crazy for having these feelings, you and I go online and we find each other. And my work is important because through it, I get to show that what queer fans do in an intimate fandom makes sense. That although it might look like we're trying to hide from reality, really what we're doing is building ourselves a new one. A reality where we feel safe, where our experiences are considered normal, and most importantly, perhaps, where our stories get told. Thank you.